It was set up wrong. Wait, never mind. Now it fixed it.
You could just, yeah, I guess you still start the same. Start with the 2-minute countdown. My dad sounds like a fiend. Like a fiend, excuse me, not a fiend.
Like a what?
A fiend. He's jonesing for his JBS.
Gotta get me my hit.
Wants to know if we working.
Can't start my Monday morning without it.
He's gonna be so sad to find out we're not doing Hot Mess Express today.
Who?
My dad.
Oh, Conrad.
That's his favorite.
I'm so sorry.
He sends me things on the weekend now. CJ, put this on the Hot Mess Express.
I mean, we're essentially wading in the Hot Mess Express waters. That whole Copa experience is the Hot Mess Express.
It looked intense out there. Did they talk about it at all on the broadcast, or was that just a social media thing? Okay.
No, they talked about it.
All right. That's good. Jacob,
I think
say
the
what?
final number was around 7,000 fans without tickets got inside.
Oh, that's exciting.
Like, that's a lot of people.
What are you... Nobody's built for that. There's no arena, no stadium that's built for that. If 7,000 people decide, yo, we're bum rushing this thing, what are you going to do? I don't want to encourage people to be out there, because we got to watch what we say nowadays. Don't want to be out here encouraging people to bum rush stadiums. But, like, the way these things are priced, I can honestly say, I wouldn't blame a Texas Longhorn fan and a group of them for getting together and be like, you know what, bleep it. We're all going to the Red River rivalry, not shootout, because, again, we got to watch what we're saying.
Yeah, but then you had these crying kids whose parents paid over $1,000.
That's on them.
And they can't get into the game, and it was hot, too. Well,
Oh, yeah.
we'll save the full totality of the conversation. Song of the day was Where Them Girls At by Meg Thee Stallion. Appropriate, because she's on tour with friend of the show, Glorilla.
Big Glow.
Friend of the show.
G to the L to the O.
When's she coming on?
We're working on it.
Okay.
We're working on it. I mean, I don't know.
I wrote a draft.
What do you mean you wrote a draft?
Like a draft of a DM. I assume she doesn't read her DMs, but maybe her people read her DMs.
If you wrote the draft, send it to her.
I was going to wait for a Monday. I hate getting DMs over the weekend. It's like business hours.
Do rappers have
DMs
weekends?
or emails? I don't know.
I think they just keep going.
I'm just trying to respect Glow's time.
We respect Glow's time.
We sure do. What's up, everybody? It is Monday, July 15th. Gonna be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. Memphis Grizzlies Summer League continues tonight in Las Vegas. They have not played since Friday. We did not see Zach Edey in that game against the Kings. Will we see him tonight when the Grizzlies face the Mavs? We'll discuss, plus some of the standouts of Summer League thus far. It was a sneaky busy sports weekend. I watched more soccer than I have in a long time. The Euros, chaos at Copa America. We'll talk about all that mess. Gary Parrish will join around 40 minutes in. Kelcey Wright Johnson joins from Vegas in the second hour. And then today is a very important day. It is CFB 25 release day, and we are having our very own College Football 25 signing day. We will pick the teams that we will bring to glory when we start playing the newest edition of EA Sports' most beloved game. We will do that at the end of today's show. It is a Monday. You know what we say. Cowabunga!
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details. A movie called Crossover. It's a basketball movie, but I think it's the top 3 worst basketball movies I've ever watched in my life.
Anthony Mackie.
Yes.
Wayne Brady.
Yes, and hot sauce. Hot sauce.
Oh my God.
Did you ever consider that I'm about to watch a movie where one of the actors is hot sauce and think this is probably not the best idea?
The Chris Vernon Show, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Are you caught up on House of the Dragon?
Of course I'm caught up.
I'm not caught up. How are the first 2 episodes?
Really good.
I've turned it on 2 nights in a row.
Can you get through it?
I don't even know what happens. I get in bed, and then I grab the remote, and I turn it on, and that's it. It's just out.
Yeah, I get that.
What
you gotta watch it sitting up, dude.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Some people are already saying these are sneaker of the year. This is the Nina Chanel Abney 3, her second collab with Jordan.
So the tag has like the regular Air Jordan, and then when you flip it, it's like the Jordan logo that Sherman was talking about.
Oh,
and that's like
okay.
what like her art is like very like contemporary and like the straight lines and like that's so cool.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own a day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out. Let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday to you from Memphis, Tennessee. Hope you all had nice weekends, eventful weekends all around, of course. CJ, how was your weekend as we start this here show today?
It was fine.
Good weekend?
We
had a game night.
We did have a game night. I counting down the days of college football, baby. Just counting down.
Also, 8 Sundays to Red Zone. 8 Sundays to the Octobox.
My wife looked at me on Friday, I think, and said, wait, is this true? Is it really only 50 days left till college football?
Yeah.
I'm like, kind of.
Yeah, it sure is.
It's week 0. We not into that.
Oh, we
week
count
0.
we count week 0 in this household.
Me act swag challenge, that's it. But the rest of it, no. So give it another like 7 days. Then it'll be back for real.
I need to get one of those signs for our yard. We don't have a yard because we live in a condo, but maybe for our window that says, in this household, we respect week 0 of college football. We respect college football. We're going to choose our CFB 25 teams later on in today's show. I brought hats for every team that I'm considering going and coaching in this wonderful new life that I've been waiting for the last 11 years at this point since we had the last CFB 25. So CJ and I will be making our picks. Obviously, here in Memphis, the most eventful thing to happen over the weekend, CJ.
Wait, because now we got questions.
What are your questions?
You can't be in the entire whack.
Oh, I can.
Okay,
it's my destiny.
Which Aggies is this?
That's New Mexico State.
Okay, New Mexico State.
The Pac-12 represents Washington State and Oregon State.
You have 3 full conferences
The Sun
up
Belt
here.
represents. Listen, I have conference hats. I'm sorry, it's a weird thing in my closet. I desperately searched for my Coastal Carolina shirt and hat last night, and I could not find either. I don't think they made the move, so I just grabbed the old Sun Belt conference.
Okay,
you know?
so you take the Sun
Teacher's
Belt.
so bright.
So you pick the Sun Belt, and who are you taking in the Sun Belt?
Coastal Carolina. I have teams attached to the conference, which I would explain.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When we get to that process of the show.
Okay.
I also have 2 schools that don't exist in the context of the
That's
game.
another one. What are we doing with Yale and this random
Yale,
school nobody's ever heard of?
I might choose to go with academics. And we have the University of Puget Sound, where my grandpa was the coach of the UPS Loggers. And so I have a UPS. I might want to stay in the family, you know?
So if you select one of those,
I
that
could
means
stay in the family with multiple of these options, which is kind of fun.
It's odd. You want to keep it in the family. So you select one of those 2. Does that mean you're not playing the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, of course, I'm not. But I just want them to know I'm considering them. You know, it's like those nice, every time one of these kids has their selection opportunity, sometimes there's a school that you know they're not going to, but like maybe one of their parents went there. Maybe the coach was really nice. So they keep the hat just to, you know, give them a little respect. Have them be a part of the process.
I do appreciate that those hats are
at the end.
At the end. I feel like the three in the middle, the USC, Hawaii, New Mexico State joint.
I don't know. The pink Pac-12 visor is pretty nice. I also included a Memphis hat. I don't have a Tigers hat, so it's just a generic Mem hat.
Wait, hold on. Can we zoom in on the Mem hat? First off, you're a hats person. How do you not have a Memphis Tigers hat?
I don't know. I have 100 Memphis Tigers shirts.
Memphis Tigers athletics. Can we fix that? Somebody clip this. Can we get Jessica a hat, please?
Yes,
please get Jessica a Memphis Tigers hat. So that's just, is that a Memphis M or is that just a generic M?
No, it's a Memphis M.
It's a Memphis M. Okay.
I bought it when I moved to
Mem.
Memphis.
Okay.
I thought it was a great hat. I wore it everywhere. It says Memphis on the back.
Okay.
So in case anyone has a question, it does say Memphis on the back. And then my WAC school, I brought a Boise State T-shirt to represent the WAC, but then you also have Hawaii and New Mexico State, which was technically in the WAC. So it gets a little complicated. I understand, but don't worry. All will come to clarity when we make our selections later on in today's show. Back to the most important events of the weekend, CJ. The Memphis Grizzlies played a Summer League game on Friday in Las Vegas. They have not played a Summer League game since. They beat the Kings by 20, 103-83, the final from the Grizzlies' first Summer League action in Vegas following their 3 games in Salt Lake City. And by far the biggest story of that game, despite the Grizzlies winning by 20 points, Zach Edey did not play. Zach Edey did not play for the Grizzlies on Friday. He was on the bench during their game against the Kings. We have not seen Zach Edey play in Summer League since Game 1, where he had a double-double, where he had the game-tying tip, where he set some monster screens, where he gave a lot of optimism for fans of Hot Grizz Summer and for the possibilities of the impact that he could have once we get to the actual Memphis Grizzlies regular season. Were you surprised not to see Zach Edey on the court Friday night for the Memphis Grizzlies?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's Summer League. So we all saw him roll that ankle, didn't we?
I did see it.
Okay, so we all saw it. Why would you rush him back before that ankle is 1,010% ready to go?
We all had the PTSD of not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 33 players for the Memphis Grizzlies playing last season. 51 different starting lineups used for the Memphis Grizzlies last season.
I would expect him, because he finished that game out.
Right.
I would expect him, if this was a game to be played in January, he would be out there playing. He'd get the treatment, and he'd be out there playing. But it's Summer League. It's a time to see what you have in players. It's a team to build out the fringe pieces of your roster for championship contending teams like the Grizzlies. It's not a time to make guys play injured, right? It's, all right. What is it? Hurt, pain, injured. If you're injured, you can't play. If you're hurt, you probably shouldn't play. If you're in pain, you should play. Right? Zach Edey might be in a little bit of discomfort, which typically means you're going to go out there and play. But no, not in Summer League. Not when you're as valuable to this team as Zach Edey is. Mm-hmm. He was drafted 9th for a reason. They hadn't made, I don't want to say for a reason, like I'm in those rooms. I'm not. I walk by these dudes and say good morning. Miss Williams almost ran me over once. Like that's all I got for you. So I'm assuming he's drafted 9th, and there hasn't been another major free agent signing for the Grizzlies, particularly for another big. That means you're going to play this dude a lot. Is he going to start? Is he going to come off the bench? I don't know. What I do know is he's going to be leaned on heavily to play significant minutes next year. If he's got any sort of discomfort, it's Summer League. You're not sending him out there for that.
It's Summer League. It's Summer League. It's Summer League. And I understand from the standpoint, because guess what? I sat down for our GCM Grind City Media pregame show on Friday, and I was thrilled to think, hey, I might get to watch Zach Edey play basketball again tonight. One of the biggest names in Summer League. And now that we're into the Las Vegas portion of it, the preseason of Summer League done, I was excited. And then he doesn't play. So, of course, I'm bummed. Like, do I want to see Zach Edey play? Yeah, absolutely. Do I need to see Zach Edey play? No, I don't. Because at the end of the day, it is Summer League and it's not worth the risk. And I know some have pointed out, well, he made the decision to not go play for Team Canada and to sit out the Olympic experience. And Drew Hill has a really great profile column up on Zach Edey and kind of his beginning of time here in Memphis. And one of the things that he mentions is Zach Edey's understanding that he wanted to be with this team. Like, that was a decision that he made because he didn't want to look back on this summer and regret not being around the Grizzlies. And I'm sure as a competitor, Zach Edey wants to be out there playing, getting better, getting the reps within the Grizzlies organization and the system, and playing under Jason March this summer and playing with teammates like Gigi Jackson and Jake LaRavia and Scottie Pippen and all that. But ultimately, his durability for next year is of the utmost importance. And so if there is even a smidgen of a risk, now is not the time to do that. Now, will we see him tonight? I don't know. Kelcey Wright Johnson is going to join us in the second hour of today's show. I believe she was at practice yesterday for the Grizzlies, so maybe she'll have an update there. The Grizzlies play the Mavs tonight. It's their second of 4 scheduled games for Summer League. They play tonight. So they had 2 days off between Friday and Monday, which feels new. I don't remember last year the Grizzlies ever having 2 games between. And the ultimate test of 2 days off in Vegas, quite the rookie welcome to the NBA experience, having an entire Saturday, Sunday to practice and work out and train, but also exist in the Vegas Summer League ecosystem. And then they play Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday are their other 2 scheduled games as of now. Then they'll have another game either in the championship bracket over the weekend or just a 5th and final game in Las Vegas if they are not playing. But they are 1-0. And they did score 100 points in a Summer League game. It was not the most beautiful of Summer League games I have ever witnessed with my eyes. It was not the beautiful game of basketball that I love, as the Sacramento Kings had 31 turnovers in that game, CJ, and 31 fouls committed by the Kings as well. The first half felt primarily all about the turnovers for the Kings. It was a slop fest. The third quarter was a slog fest with so many free throws for the Grizzlies. But ultimately, Memphis scores 100 points. They get a 20-point win. They're 1-0 in Summer League. We all understand that records do not matter when it comes to Summer League. And there were some nice performances from a variety of players, even though Zach Edey wasn't out on the court.
Who?
Jake LaRavia. I love what I've seen from Jake LaRavia. Okay. I am having conversations internally of how could Jake LaRavia potentially move up the Grizzlies depth chart. And I'm not saying it'll happen. It's Summer League, and you're going to have a training camp, but it continues to be one of the more competitive positions for the Grizzlies going in to next season. And how could Jake LaRavia going into year 3 compete for minutes that some might think Gigi Jackson is in line for, some might assume that Vince Williams Jr. is in line for, and of course Vince isn't at Summer League. But the way that Jake LaRavia is playing right now is a continuation of what we saw at the end of last season. And I know a lot of people were checked out, understandably so, by the end of last year. But as we came down and finished off one of the more frustrating seasons to sit through, one of the bright spots by the end was Jake. And he's been injured. He's only played 70 NBA games in his first 2 years, 35 in his first year, 35 last year. But those last 8 games that he played last season, he was averaging 19 points. He scored over 25 3 times, and it wasn't just offensively what he was doing. And I remember the thing that stood out the most was his ability to get to the free throw line, which he did again in the Grizzlies game against the Kings. I think it was 6 of 6 from the line. But also the ceiling that he has defensively and being one of those bigger-bodied wing defenders. And he had 6 steals against the Kings. And he has said that he is working on the defensive end of his game. And he asked to come to Summer League. Like, that was a Jake LaRavia decision. Not all third-year players are open to running it back at Summer League once more. But I think Jake LaRavia has understood how injuries have impacted his trajectory so far. And if you've listened to the Grizzlies staff about Jake LaRavia, like, they're always mentioning him. I remember times last year where Taylor Jenkins would mention him, Zach Kleiman would mention him, and Jason March, even after one of the games this weekend, or one of the games of the Summer League so far, has said, like, everyone within the organization believes in Jake, which, yes, is something that you say, but I wanted Jake LaRavia to look like a third-year player in Summer League, and that's exactly what he's looked.
If that's true, well, I don't know. It's true. There's a bit of a log jam at that position. And by that position, I mean on the wing. And this is it's a problem that needs to be addressed, but it's a good problem to have, where you have a handful of players who can throw out there on any given night, who can give you positive production on the court. My thought on that, my issue with that is, and I think this is some of the fans' issue and just a logical thought. You talk to NBA players and, hey, I work best when I know my role. And part of my role is knowing how much I'm going to play. Well, if you're going from Conchar to Laravia to Zaire, back to Conchar, throwing some Vince Williams, throwing Gigi, nobody's going to get a consistent amount of minutes. And so in order to get the best out of everybody, in order to get the most from the players that you want to throw out there and play, I feel like you kind of got to find a way to move on from some guys, solidify or shorten that bench a bit so that I come in and let's say I'm Zaire. I come in and know, I'm getting 12 minutes tonight. No matter what happens, I'm getting 12 minutes at least. And if I play well, I'll get more. If I play poorly, we'll talk about it in film. If I'm Laravia, hey, I'm coming in, I'm getting 15 to 20, right? Like no matter what happens, I'm getting these minutes. So they come in rhythm. They come in confident. They come in not looking over their shoulder every time something happens, right? You got to be able to play without fear, play without thinking, play without having a fear of going to the bench immediately. It's a good problem to have. I'd be interested to see what they decide to do with the problem. And you still need more depth from a big man standpoint as well, because it's 4, right? It's just 4 of them. Got 2 of them get injured. Now what are you doing?
I mean, technically, I guess 5.
Who?
Trey Jemison's on your 2-way.
Who's the other?
Santi.
I keep forgetting about Santi.
Darren, Zach.
So it's 5. Yeah.
But it feels like a tenuous 5.
Yeah.
To a bit. So I agree with that. As for the other position you would look at would be backup point guard. It's interesting because all of the position needs right now are actually not filled, but can be helped through your 2-way guys. So Trey Jemison can help with front court. Scottie Pippen Jr. obviously can help as a backup point guard, and Scottie Pippen Jr. again with a really nice game against the Kings. He had 5 steals, and it's just been a reminder to me the defensive intensity of which Scottie Pippen Jr. plays with, I think is equally, if not more impressive to the steadiness of his offensive game. And then the other big standout for me, CJ, was Cam Spencer. Like, Cam Spencer is giving you exactly what you want from a Summer League performance standpoint. He has been straight consistent. And he was, again, knocking down threes. There was a transition opportunity in the first quarter where he's bringing the ball back down and he just pulls up from the top of the key and shoots a 3. And my immediate mental note as he's releasing is, I love that he took that shot. And this is a rookie. This is someone who was taken in the second round of the draft. But already the confidence I feel when I see Cam Spencer release is great news for Cam Spencer. And just playing with, that dogged energy. Gigi Jackson was on the Chris Vernon show on Friday, and we had Gigi Jackson drop a real-life F-bomb on Grind City Media. But I feel like it passes when Gigi Jackson says it.
We can say it whenever we want.
But we get the show pulled down.
When? I don't think we've said it. Also.
I think somebody has. We've never said it.
We haven't, unfortunately.
We've never said it.
But
unfortunately, don't say that. That's my biggest fear. I'm going to just let one fly someday.
There's no YouTube FCC. You can say that word on YouTube, can't you?
Maybe.
Okay.
Anyway,
right. Go ahead, Gigi. Say it as much as you want.
He called him an effing dog.
Arr!
Cam Spencer, an effing dog. He also said that he refers to him as national champion. Gigi's so funny. Gigi is one of maybe the funniest player on this team, which might have to do with the fact that he's 19 years old at this point. But called him an effing dog. Said that just the work ethic that he's witnessed from Cam Spencer is insane. Gigi's doling out compliments left and right. Within that Drew Hill piece that I mentioned on Daily Memphian, he was talking about how Gigi Jackson went up to Zach Edey the first time he met and said, Zach, you are the greatest collegiate big who has ever played the game. And I'm like, I appreciate that. Find you a teammate who just gasses you up straight from the beginning. He also said he picked up Zach Edey in his car and realized Zach Edey is 7'4", so he tried to put the seat all the way back. And Zach Edey said, no, don't worry about it. It's good. I drive a Kia. Can you believe that Zach Edey drives a Kia?
No.
How does that? Physics.
No, I can't. Physics and what is Purdue doing with their NIL money?
He was in Canada.
Georgia's backup center is getting a Ferrari. How is Zach Edey for Purdue not getting some type of SUV?
Well, maybe we need less sports cars in college sports.
We certainly need less of them in Athens.
In Athens, Georgia. We could take a step back. Maybe NFL, too. Did you see the Jordan Addison news over the weekend?
No.
He got a DUI. And we're getting too much DUI news this summer. He was asleep. He was just asleep in his car.
Oh.
Just get a driver. Get an Uber.
Get a driver. Get
Please.
an Uber.
Get a driver like Gigi Jackson. He'll pick you up. He'll take you to South Main Sushi in his smaller, I think he has an Audi something. But if you ask Zach Edey, he'll just have his Kia. I cannot imagine the long legs of Zach Edey fitting into a little bitty Kia.
It's like Shaq in those Buick commercials.
Yes, it
We're
is.
like, Shaq, come on, man. It ain't that much space in a Buick. You big as hell, dog. You don't fit in there.
Yeah.
That whole car probably lifts. When Zach Edey gets out, it probably lifts, 3 or 4 inches?
Yes.
Oh, boy. We got to somebody get that man an Escalade or something.
A Jeep. What is a car, a big man? Don't get him a Cybertruck. Don't do it. It's not cool. I don't need to see one of those.
No, what do big people drive? I don't know.
Trucks.
Yeah, get him a pickup.
Most people don't need to drive a truck. And I look at people who drive trucks and I think they're trying sometimes. Sometimes, don't come at me, truck drivers. Everyone needs someone with a truck, so it's a very important car to have. We've all been in a moving situation where we needed the friend with the truck. But sometimes people with the truck are overcompensating for other things that they lack.
Like
if
what?
you are 7'4", I don't know, it might be short.
Okay.
A lot of short guys drive trucks.
Farquaad it.
Yeah.
All right, got you.
Exactly.
Got you.
And then they have to, I watched someone use a step stool to get into their truck this weekend.
A grown up?
A grown up.
A man?
A man.
No,
I
dog.
saw it
No.
at the bank.
No. Unless he's a construction worker.
I know. I don't know if maybe he
You
needed
shoulda asked
a
him.
lift.
You should have asked.
I wasn't gonna ask the man. That felt disrespectful. I wasn't gonna say, "Sir, why are you using
What's
a
this
step
little short
stool?"
ass gonna do? He's short.
Yeah.
Shout out to the short kings. We love
And then it was somebody who took the stool and then got in the passenger side too. It was wild.
Wait, was it another man?
Yeah. It was wild.
You can't have me on stool duty,
wild.
dog. I'm not gonna run around and pick up your stool. No, there's no way in hell I would agree to that. It's got to be a construction guy. All right, like if that's the
Maybe.
case, then you're fine. But no, did they have workman boots on? Were they stomping about in
No,
Timbs?
they were just in normal clothes.
No, we can't have that.
Normal clothes.
No, you need to be a foreman if you need a step stool to get into a truck. To drive the truck.
Cars for big people.
Here we go.
Truck. A Suburban.
SUV's not on there?
A Yukon.
Yep, that's exactly what
A
he
Jeep
needs.
Denali.
A Denali. Are we still making Denali's?
Do we still do Denali's? Or a Range Rover? Can we
Yep.
bring Range Rovers
Yep.
back? Do people still... I
don't
always
know.
associate Range Rovers with Super Sweet 16. It was like all the rich kids wanted a Range Rover for their Sweet 16. Anyway, Zach Edey will work on getting you a bigger car. One thing that Zach Edey said in his appearance on the Vernon Show that stood out to me, I did not watch a ton of Summer League action this weekend. There were many things going on, and then Sunday was a sweet sports Sunday, which we'll get into when we wrap up Summer League. Vernon asked Gigi Jackson, because this would have been his draft class, so like the familiarity with players who are rookies going into this Summer League and this NBA season and who were just drafted. And the first name that Gigi Jackson said in terms of players who like stood out to him always was Matas Buzelis. And he like revealed that the two of them were actually supposed to go play, or they had thought about going to play at North Carolina for a period of time. But so he's shouting out Matas Buzelis, and then Buzelis had a hell of a game for the Bulls yesterday, where he had probably the best Summer League dunk thus far. This kid gets up. You can't see it from this angle, and we can't show the other angle because we don't have the rights to it. Somebody else got him. He just does a dead stare into the camera. Just stares straight into the soul of the camera after that dunk. And that's what you want from Summer League. More Summer League dunks, please.
I think we're good on basketball, on NBA stuff. We're good on NBA stuff. So
Well,
any
it was
NBA
somebody,
stuff,
but
let's
it was
just
like
run it.
somebody's
Ah, it's
personal. It had a logo on it.
Yeah, let's do it anyway.
I'm trying not to mess with the logos. I'm just trying to keep us all operating, okay? Just let the record state I am trying to do the right thing. Anyway, that dunk from Buzelis, he had 28 points against the Warriors. And then the other player, I think, who has had the most buzz coming out of opening weekend at Summer League would be Reed Sheppard. Reed Sheppard with the Houston Rockets. Some people have had concerns. He's 6'1". What's he going to do with the size? Reed Sheppard through 2 games, averaging 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. He has played with the confidence of a player. Every Summer League, there are players who you see and think to yourself, all right, enough is enough. I don't really need to see anything else from this player. They've done work. They've proven that they have legit opportunities to play for the team they were drafted by this summer. That was Reed Sheppard coming out of this weekend. He got the attention of both Trae Young and John Morant on Twitter as well. Both tweeted about the game of Reed Sheppard.
It's nice to see all of those guys there hanging out. It feels very much like, okay, I'm here. I'm a varsity player and I'm here watching the JV play, giving them some pointers. And it's just nice to see those relationships sort of play out with your respective team. And then off the court with everybody else also. We love to see them compete. We love to see them get into it on the court. But these guys know one another. They hang out. They're friends. It's always been that way. Dr. J hung out with Magic. Magic hung out with Bird. Bird and the Celtics hung out with Mike and some of the Bulls, right? Like there are people who you gravitate towards, and it's nice to get a little peek behind the curtain of, oh, these guys are actually friends. Did you see the ridiculous bonnet situation from your guy Kuminga? I do believe it was.
Okay, he's not my guy. He's my husband's guy.
Kuminga had like a little scarf on.
Really?
Yeah, it was part of his fit, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, was he just there hanging out?
He's not playing, Jessica.
Well, of course.
Can you imagine Kuminga in Summer League? That would be unfair.
Cheat code. The worst thing I saw from Summer League was Deron Holmes. And the Warriors lost a guy, too, who I didn't ever see official, if it was an Achilles tear. But from the one Achilles injured to the next, my sincerest sadness to Deron Holmes for the Denver Nuggets, who did tear his Achilles in Summer League. Achilles tears stink no matter what, but just as we were talking about, it's Summer League. That's why you don't want to risk anything, and sometimes freak injuries just happen. It's a part of the game, but I always feel extra physically ill when somebody ends up undergoing a season-long injury, because now you won't see Deron Holmes, and now the entire beginning of his NBA career is all about rehabbing and coming back from one of the worst injuries that you can undergo if you're an athlete or a non-athlete, just an injury, period.
It's hard when careers start off with injuries because you need this time to play. And we aren't super forgiving in that, right? Like we'll say, oh, well, he was injured his first season and needed to recover the second season. That's why he might still be a bit slow on the takeoff in year 3. By year 3, if you hadn't popped, we are, as a sports viewing public, we are off of you, and you are a bust at this point. You got to go someplace else. And as a franchise, you really don't got 3 years to wait on somebody you don't know. You know, like you say, okay, he rehabbed year 1, year 2, he's still got to get his legs under him in the league while also learning his body after coming off of that injury. Year 3, which in reality should probably be viewed as year 1 for him. Year 3, he still hadn't popped just yet. It's year 4. We're not going to keep signing this guy. We can't take the risk. Wish him a speedy recovery. Good luck. It's hard coming back from that injury. You know, Jessica.
Sure do. Never gets easier. All right, Grizzlies play the Mavs tonight. Mavs lost to the Jazz on Saturday. The Mavs are also in the vaunted Group C of next year's NBA Cup. We did find out the Grizzlies also a member of Group C. They did the reveal for next year's NBA Cup, a.k.a. the in-season tournament. I guess we are moving away from IST, the IST, and focusing on the NBA Cup instead. It's Grizzlies, Mavs, Nuggets, Pelicans, and Warriors. That is a hell of a group. Probably the most difficult collective group within both the Western and the Eastern Conference. The way that they did the draws was like the really good team. So obviously the Dallas Mavericks made it to the NBA Finals. The Grizzlies were a really bad team last year, 27-52. And so they were in the mix of bad teams to be distributed into the groups, which actually bodes well for the Grizzlies, but bodes worse for a team like the Mavs or a team like the Nuggets. But still, you look at it, Nuggets, Mavs, Pelicans, Warriors. It's tough. The quest for the NBA Cup begins right now. We'll see.
Is that throw the groups back up there? Anytime we got group stages and anything,
I love groups.
We have to do the group of death. Is that not
yes? It's the group of death.
Is West C not the group of death?
Yes, there's no other close, because even with every single group in the A has a toss-out team. Hornets in A, Pistons in B, Wizards in C, and the Hawks in C, and the Bulls in C, and the Celtics got. Okay, have fun getting past the Cavs. Congratulations. Put it back for the West, though, just to see the other two groups from the Western Conference. Yeah. You get the Jazz in West B. You get the Trailblazers in West A.
I mean, I think you can maybe throw the Spurs in there.
I don't know, man. The Spurs, even
Wemby
without
is-
Stephon Castle yesterday, their summer league team beat the Hawks with Ricochet, and we don't take anything from summer league, but the fact that just the Spurs have Victor Wembanyama, okay?
They do.
And they now have Chris Paul, who can actually get the ball to Victor Wembanyama, something that he did not have the luxury of in his rookie season.
Chris Paul did get that Thunder team to a playoffs. We thought that that Thunder team was done. Like, okay, they made the trade for Chris Paul. They're about to start some tanking. Chris Paul drugged them to a playoff appearance. And they didn't have a Victor Wembanyama out there. So maybe the Spurs
But what he did with that Suns team, like he gave us the confidence in the Suns eventually. Like perhaps we have the big three in Phoenix because of the false optimism provided by Chris Paul steadying that ship early on, at least in the bubble.
Yeah.
That was one of the stories, the bubble.
It certainly made Devin Booker made the empty stats feel a bit more full and lead people to believe, hey, you can win with Devin Booker. Look at what he's doing right now alongside of
Kevin Durant.
Chris
you want to
Paul.
come play with Devin Booker?
And then
Bradley Beal.
Come on.
Wait, just kidding. We take it back. We take it back. All right, it was a big, sneaky good weekend in sports, especially yesterday. I had sports on all day long. Stayed up way too late watching Argentina win Copa America because it was delayed for well over an hour after fans stormed through the gates, got in without tickets. We also had a Shakira halftime show. We also had Lionel Messi getting a horrible ankle injury, but we'll start with the whole shenanigans that happened ahead of this game. So there were multiple videos that made the rounds of fans who presumably were without tickets, and the reports were that around 7,000 fans without tickets stormed their way into Hard Rock Stadium. Hard Rock Stadium is where the University of Miami football team plays. It's where the Miami Dolphins play. So they regularly host big games, but when it came to the Copa America final, it was sheer chaos. There were videos of fans hiding within the walls of the stadium. There were reports of people who eventually got in, people who paid thousands of dollars for their tickets, eventually got into the stadium, got to their seats, and there were other people sitting in their seats, and security was like, there's nothing we can do. I can't imagine being infuriated, especially after those fans with tickets got stuck because they shut down so many of the gates that the picture that we showed a few moments ago were thousands of fans waiting to get in. They're trying to get in basically one at a time, single file line status, and there was no air conditioning, there was no shade, there was no water, there were no fans for the fans, so everyone's hot. There were multiple reports of people passing out. It just seemed like a miserable experience, and the kick time kept getting pushed back. We originally were thrilled because we were going to watch the first half before House of the Dragon, watch House of the Dragon somewhere around half, and then come back for the second half of the game. We ended up watching House of the Dragon, come back for the beginning of the game, back to House of the Dragon, then finally watched the end of the game in bed because it was like 82 minutes late. And it was sheer chaos. And coming off of what happened in the game that happened in, I believe it was in South Carolina earlier. Is that where the Columbia-Uruguay game was? Charlotte. I always, messed up the Carolinas.
That's fine.
But it is one of those things that stands out because the World Cup is coming to the United States. Wow. The United States of America in 2026, and the Hard Rock Stadium is hosting 7 games. But we were talking to our wonderful actual soccer fan director, Other Jacob, and he was saying, and I saw this kind of circulating everywhere, that the majority of the blame was getting placed on the organization that runs Copa America, which is, I don't know how to pronounce it, CONMEBOL. So that's the group that runs Copa. Where does the responsibility, where does it get split between security measures and setup and organization at Hard Rock versus the organization group of Copa America? How could that be different for the World Cup? Anyway, it was a bad look. It was a bad look overall. Argentina still wins, and they are the best team in soccer.
In soccer?
In the Americas.
Okay. Because are they better than Spain?
No, probably not. We'll get into the Euros.
I mean, they're going to play one another in the Finalissimo or whatever the hell they call that, where the best team in the Americas plays the best team in Europe. But they'll play next year. How about Messi? A classic example of you can't win with him. He can't win the big one until he wins the big one, right? Messi started off his career losing the first 4 major tournaments he played in. As great as he was, he lost the first 4 major tournaments that he played in. You look at him now, He's won the last 4 major tournaments that he's played in. He's been a large part of the reason why Argentina now has more Copa Americas than anybody else.
16.
Over here. 16. Uruguay has 15. And everything in me feels like Brazil with 9. Somebody's sitting there at 9. I'm not sure. Brazil with 9. So, like,
Aren't they also
impressive.
the first team in a long time to win the Copa after winning the World Cup, to be the defending World Cup champions and win Copa?
I would assume so. I don't
think
know.
so. I think we had the reverse Drake curse.
What do you mean?
Because
Drake
Argentina, Drake bet against them. Argentina posted the Not Like Us graphic after beating Canada in the semifinals, and now they are Copa champions. Or they're just so good that even the mention of the word Drake, they don't bat an eye. It doesn't even matter to them. I think they're just really good.
I think they're just really,
it was a really
good.
fun game to watch. That game was fun. The Spain-England game was awesome. Like that, deep within my soul, I don't know where the hatred comes for the United Kingdom, but God, it really begins to show when I'm watching England play soccer, and it's something that America's not good at, and so I don't want them to be good at it, and I was rooting all in for Spain by the end of that game, and Spain with 5 minutes to go scores the go-ahead goal, which was sad for England, but wonderful for Spain. Big day for Spain after Alcaraz beat Djokovic in the Wimbledon finals earlier in the day. That's how I began my day of sports viewing. There were some great WNBA games yesterday too. Did you catch any of the WNBA action?
Yeah, I watched all of Sun Mercury.
Okay.
Well, by all of, I mean until the Sun started pulling away with it. And then I caught a little bit of Lynx.
Fever Lynx.
So yeah, watch some of that. I took a tremendous soccer nap. Soccer naps are great. That's the first time I've taken a soccer nap.
We did a soccer workout.
Oh.
Which I also recommend because you don't have to be watching. But the only problem is if you're down in like a push-up or a burpee or something where your head is down, the risk of missing a goal is great. But it makes it feel so good if you don't. Like we were in the midst of jump lunges, so eyes on the prize as Spain.
I saw the
Goes
Kane penalty kick.
Okay.
And then not too long after that, I zoned out. Had Brian's for breakfast. It was delightful. I zoned out. And then I wake up and I just missed the Spain goal, but I got to see all the English players looking all sad and stuff. And what is England going to do? They can't blame the black players this time, can they? Are they still running around calling them monkeys and stuff?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
I hope not. Grow up. Be better. Also, one quick note on that Fever Lynx game, because that was a really good game. That Fever team's coming together. They have won 4 of their last 6 games. Kelcey Mitchell had the running block to seal the game against the Lynx. She led the team in scoring. 4 of their 5 starters were in double figures yesterday. Aaliyah Boston had 17 and 16. And then when it comes to Caitlin Clark, on Friday, she had 20 and 13. Last Wednesday, she had 29 and 13. She's the first WNBA rookie to post multiple games with 20 points and 10 assists. They are finally clicking in a way that is very exciting. And I know there was so much discussion of could this rookie class have an immediate impact in the WNBA? And right now the answer is yes. Like they have proved a lot of doubters wrong. Not just Caitlin Clark, but what Angel Reese has done. And I know her double-double run finally came to an end. But these are rookies.
See how it came to an end?
Sure did.
Quintuple teamed.
Like, you will not get this one.
Jonquel Jones, Stewie, and everybody in New York.
Leave it to the Liberty.
They were like, no, we're not doing this. You better kick that ball out. We got something for you. Go up with this.
That Liberty team is good.
Fever.
Yeah.
8-4 their last 12. What did they? I think they started 3-9. I think that is that is incredible.
Yep.
That is.
They are now
really
11
impressive.
and 14.
A game and a half out of 6, and I think that gets you in the playoffs.
They have a chance to.
They have a chance to get in the playoffs after starting off as poorly as they have. That is a testament to Caitlin Clark. That's a testament to Aaliyah Boston. That's a testament to the coaching staff. That is incredible to see play out.
Mm-hmm.
Now it makes sense for him to be on my TV all the time. I'm telling you right now.
I know. I'm getting so many residual from our video when the Olympic roster came out, and people don't have comprehension where they can see that this take came weeks ago, months ago, at this point where Caitlin Clark was left off of Team USA. And they're like, how can you see what Caitlin Clark is doing right now and say she shouldn't be on Team USA? And I'm like, This was the whole point all along. She has played her way into, yes, her game translating nearly immediately. There were some big growing pains in the first couple of weeks, but as we talked about in the moment, coming straight off of the college basketball season, going straight into the WNBA draft, going straight into the W. But Caitlin Clark, I'm sitting here today saying she is an impactful player. She is potentially going to take a Fever team that has struggled and collectively with this group who is playing really well around her. And shout out to, that coach has dealt with a lot of criticism throughout the early parts of the season too. And now we could be talking about a Fever team that could make the postseason. That's ridiculously impressive. So chill on the mentions, people. Leave me alone. Leave Jesse alone. Gary Parrish is going to join us after a quick break. We'll catch up with him. He was at Peach Jam this past weekend. We'll ask him his thoughts on the Grizzlies in Summer League and the status of Zach Edey after a quick break.
If you look at it, as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Justin Timberlake. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
You have proven everybody wrong every single time, every step of the way. Does it get frustrating that people are still skeptical that you can do this?
I kind of just expect it now. I think I would be uncomfortable. People weren't doubting me all the time. It's just kind of been part of it, been part of my life. In college, I couldn't tell you why people keep doing it, but they keep doing it, and it keeps working out for me.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's number 1.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
If you look at it, as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
All right, welcome back back. It is Monday. That means it's time to catch up with Gary Parrish, host of The Gary Parrish Show, weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Grind City Media. GP.
How are you?
Welcome back to Memphis.
It's good to be back in
When
Memphis.
did you get back?
Last night around 5 p.m. or so.
How was Peach Jam?
Peach Jam was fine.
Peachy.
It was peachy. It was hot outside and cold inside the gym. And honestly, for me, it's really nice to go, not because I'm watching basketball in the middle of July, whatever. My career has changed so much that I know these people, but I don't see them anymore. Because when I first got hired at CBS, I would spend every week of the season somewhere. I'd go to Ohio State for 3 days. I'd go to Florida for 3 days. I'd go to UCLA for a week, whatever. And I was just on these campuses, and I almost never do that anymore. It's just back and forth to New York, back and forth to New York. So just being in the gym, sitting next to people that you used to see pretty regularly, and you still text often, but you don't get like FaceTime with them anymore. It's just good to see people. Like I don't sit around like, these are my friends, but they are people that I have spent time with, and it's always good to catch up. So I did enjoy it from that perspective.
Okay, because you were around people you know and friends. I'm going to ask you a weird question.
Sure.
How often over the weekend did the conversation of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump come up in conversation?
Well, it was weird. The whole thing was weird because we were all in a gym when it happened.
Okay.
And I'll just set the scene for you. A.J. Benson, number one player in the country. He will be the number one pick in the NBA draft someday.
Okay.
I would bet a significant amount of money on it, barring injuries and all that stuff. He's on the court playing, so the gym is packed, right? It's the top two players, really, two of the top three in high school playing. So the gym's packed. I'm not name dropping. I'm just telling you a story. I'm sitting with Scott Drew from Baylor, Grant McCaslin from Texas Tech, and I'm not, for like the first time in my life, I'm not consumed with my phone. I'm just talking to these. We're just talking, and standing like I'm on the baseline, and Matt Norlander, my colleague at CBS Sports, is standing over here, and he's with some other people, and I notice him like keep looking at me like, and I'm like, and finally I'm like, what? And he walks over, and he's like, did you see? And I was like, what? He's like, open Twitter. And I said, what? He goes, you don't know. And I said, dude, what are you, like, do I need to search for me? Is it something about me? I guess that's where my mind went first. He's like, no, just go to Twitter.
You're being doxxed.
Yeah, and then I see it. And what was and then you look around, everybody's on their phone. Nobody's watching basketball anymore. Everybody's on their phone. The most not the most interesting thing, but among the interesting things, so I'm in a basketball gym, surrounded by people like all walks of life, rich, poor, everything. Like everybody's in there.
Yeah.
The whole country's in this gym from different places. What struck me as interesting initially, because everybody's talking about it. You're walking through, it's like, did you see? You see people. People didn't believe it. People were skeptical. People were like, this is staged. This isn't real.
Reaction.
That was not mine.
Yeah.
I just assumed like somebody just got shot and it looks chaotic and crazy. But I was struck by how many otherwise reasonable people were looking at the exact same thing I was looking at and reading all the same stuff I was reading, and they just didn't believe that it was as it looked. And it just sort of highlighted the skepticism of our entire country right now. Like we have reached a point as a country where we can all look at the same thing and we digest it so differently. And it was just odd to me that so many people didn't believe that what had obviously just happened did not happen.
My experience was we were home. We had come home from a movie, and we are chronically online.
Sure.
So immediately saw on Twitter as we were getting ready for a game night that we were scheduled to go to, and within like a half hour of it happening. And so we immediately turn on MSNBC and join the live coverage of it, and it's all consuming.
Sure.
And it's terrifying. Like, listen, like add this to yet another place in America where you can't go because of guns in this country. That's my
other
take.
thing.
I just came from a movie where I was seeing a scary movie where someone came in the middle, and I have this experience constantly in my life. I grew up in Colorado. The Aurora movie theater shooting happened in Colorado. When somebody comes into a movie, my immediate, like 20 minutes late, my first thought is not, wow, what a weirdo coming into the movie 20 minutes late. My first thought is, oh my God, do I need to have an exit strategy in this moment? Yeah. And so coming from a movie where I almost always at least have a small moment of that in my life, and then seeing, at a political rally, that it can happen there too, with all the Secret Service and all of the police presence in the world. And then we went to this party and no one talked about it. And it was so dystopian to me because it just felt as if, which is fine, like no one wants to sit around. You never know where people
Except this is all we talked about.
But
the people I was with.
I had such a different thing. And then I talked to other friends who, depending on where they lived, had different experiences within it. And I just found it fascinating from a standpoint of even, coming into work this morning. It's the Monday morning after one of the biggest things that happened in the country, and we talked about our normal
it's one of the biggest
stuff.
things that have happened in the history of our
Correct.
country.
And this is my first, and I think yours as well.
I was alive for Ronald Reagan's assassination tip, but I don't remember it.
But
I
was
4, yeah.
And we just watched Forrest Gump for our summer movie series a couple weeks ago, and I remember thinking, wow, they had a real run of both assassination and assassination attempts. And even if you add Martin Luther King Jr. into politically adjacent assassinations in this country, and then we haven't had that. And so this just felt so massive. And for there to be such disconnect even.
Yeah, that's odd from because I don't know
I
the
talked
people
to
you
people
were.
who went to bars, who went to restaurants that night, and just nothing.
Like we went
Like it never
straight from
happened.
the gym to dinner, and the restaurant was filled with basketball people, and it didn't matter what. And it's one of those deals where everybody knows everybody in the restaurant. Like the whole restaurant is basketball people, and you're bouncing from table to table, saying hello to people, and it's all anybody was talking about. It was. It's scary. It's terrifying. Like I don't care how you're going to vote in November, or how you voted 4 years ago, or how you feel about the former president. That's horrific and terrifying and scary. Like I do not want Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States. I also don't want to see his head get blown off in HD on national television. I mean, that's a scary deal.
Can you help me out here? What's scary about it? Because that's where I'm struggling with this personally.
You don't think it's scary? We got thousands of people in an open space, and a guy with an automatic weapon
crawled up onto a roof,
shooting into it.
What makes this? I guess I shouldn't compare. That's on me, because my reaction to that is, okay, what makes this any more scary than like Uvalde or what happened in Vegas?
Oh, I'm not comparing tragedies.
My thing is
that's
right.
on me. That's not on y'all.
No.
And there has been a desensitization, which I wondered if that was playing a role, even though it is a former president who ran and lost, who is now running again for president, even though the specifics of who it happened to, I mean, the person who died at this rally was just a person who showed up to a rally for a politician that they favor. I do think there has been just an overall desensitization of gun violence in this country, and so perhaps that plays into some response.
Gun violence is a major problem in this country. I roll my eyes at anybody who tries to suggest otherwise, or who tries to insist that it's a people problem, not a gun problem. Like that's outrageous to me, and just idiotic to me. And it's not lost on me that the same people who were at that rally and at risk of losing their lives were at risk because they think that person on that roof should be allowed to have that rifle. Yes. I personally don't. I don't think civilians should have that.
Yes.
But the people at that rally do. And so all of that's not lost on me.
I saw somebody on Twitter suggest that the passing of the Donald Trump gun reform bill will be an epic moment within this country. But no, I'm with you. I mean, I've been open on my stance on guns. I do think the lack of trust and different people having different responses of like conspiracy theories abound.
Oh, and those will never go away, by the way.
Those will never go away.
It doesn't matter.
This is our first time witnessing this in the social media era, which plays a part of it too. Just from a studying standpoint, like how this will be studied one day. I remember when I first learned about the Kennedy assassination, and our class in 6th grade was split into two groups, those who believe single shooter, those who believe two shooters, grassy knoll, make your case. And there's so many conspiracy theories already. It's crazy. I did have a come to Jesus moment with myself, and I'll just share it openly because I think it's always important. Like, I got very deep in the weeds of the Kate Middleton stuff earlier this year. Like, where is Kate Middleton? We haven't seen her. Okay, she's undergoing cancer, but we've seen a video. But is it really a video? Yada, yada, yada. Kate Middleton looked great. She was at Wimbledon this weekend. And there could be a lot of things going on. I'm not saying take everything at face value, all is happy within the royal family. But bottom line is, she was at Wimbledon, and it reminded me of how easy it is to get caught up in the tumbleweed of the internet sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I saw all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that For You tab will take you right to everything.
Everywhere.
If there's a conspiracy out there, that For You tab on X will get you there. I don't have much interest in, debating that with somebody.
Me neither. It's
like,
exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like let's, and I know you're not.
And on
but
both
let's say
sides,
you
too.
are. You're the person like, this is a, I mean, I've seen it this morning. Like, there are videos of people who are saying, I know about how this stuff works, and it's clear to me that this shooter had help from the inside, and that's not clear to me. But I'm not. There's nothing I can say that will change somebody's mind about that if that is what they believe. But to your initial point, we are watching the JFK conspiracy stuff. All started. I don't think it was in real time. Where this was within minutes, the conspiracies were out there and we're digesting them, and it's a weird time it's a weird experience.
And it's such a politically hot time right now as it is, and so then you get all of those layers, which we don't have to go into because we have another important thing I need to discuss with you before we let you go and have Kelcey Wright Johnson join us from 7 a.m. in Las Vegas, and I don't have her wake up for
I'm
nothing.
not sure I don't know, did she understand the time difference situation when she agreed to this?
She did,
Okay.
and I gave her an out.
Yeah.
And to her credit, she stuck with it.
Hey, that's it. You know what?
That's a real one.
You're
right
on a work
there.
trip work, right?
I agree. And the Grizzlies haven't played since Friday.
Yeah.
So we'll catch up, see what she's been doing, what's been going on. I saw they saw Chris Angel Mind Freak, which I'm fascinated to hear
I
about.
meant to ask somebody who was there if they enjoyed it, because
I'm gonna ask.
We went to that.
Oh, you have?
And I thought it was terrible.
Really?
I thought it was. It's not only the worst Vegas show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's the only one of all the Vegas shows I've been to that I didn't actually go, this was fun, or great, or amazing, or something.
Yeah.
I found it was bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was bad.
Okay. Well, I will ask Kelcey
All
Wright
right.
Johnson her
Maybe
thoughts.
he's improved. This was like 10 years ago or something. Maybe he's improved.
Maybe he's improved. Maybe Zach Edey will play for the Memphis
Ah,
Grizzlies tonight. Do
would
you
that be
think he
fun?
will?
I don't know.
I know.
I mean, I like on Friday, I think we had this exact same
We
conversation.
sure did. We're,
and I was
we're
like,
picking up where we left off.
right. And I was like, I mean, we put him in the promo on social media. You know, you could have put Jake LaRavia, anybody. They went with Zach Edey. That suggested to me that maybe they think he's going to play. He obviously didn't. So I don't know. I'd like to see him.
It'd be
but,
fun.
and I know fans and even media members, I guess, will debate and discuss whether he should be playing or whatever. My stance on this has always been the people who make that decision about Zach Edey,
No better than us.
that, and B, just have way more invested in it than I do.
Yeah.
I don't think I hope my job is not reliant on Zach Edey being awesome or whatever. But like somebody's job is. And the people who are making these decisions have way more invested in this and way more understanding of it than we do. So I'd feel a little silly sitting here questioning that.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. And I always default back to, like, I don't need, like, I'm not going to cry.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
might.
get emotional about this. I don't know. I'm very emotional right now. I could cry at the drop of a hat. I
might
cried
get
like 3
emotional.
times yesterday.
Why are you crying all day?
No. Trying times, man.
It really-
You use the word terrifying, and I'll put, like, I'm not going to go with terrifying. Unsettling is the word that I would use from the weekend. I was very unsettled.
Perhaps that's a better word.
And I was grasping for settlement all weekend, and I found it in Wimbledon and the Euros and Copa, and just keep distracting me, whatever we can do.
Yeah, I wasn't very good at distracting myself. I mean, I watched the same stuff you watched, but I kept going back to it. I just like any new information. My mind gets obsessive
I
about
want to know
stuff.
everything.
Like I get to the point where I start reading a story and I'm like, I've already read this one. I've already read this one. I read so much that I was rereading things, and then I'd get like 3 paragraphs in. I was like, I've already read this one. Let's go to the next one. And I'm reading the same thing, different versions of it 50 times. And so I never got away from it.
I read a book. I finished a book.
Congratulations.
It's called Maybe This Year. I mentioned it on the show last week. It's by Hanif Abdurraqe? I'm not sure how his last name is pronounced. I'll figure that out. The book was great.
Yeah?
It's basketball, but you don't have to love basketball
Okay.
in order to enjoy it. It's about LeBron, but it's more about like cities and cities that people want to leave, but the people who stay and the people who are allowed to leave, and heroes and religion and witness, and it was great.
Well, that's interesting. I happened to be in Cleveland the night that LeBron left Cleveland the first time.
Oh, really? It goes through that in this book.
Okay, I was there, and I was out reporting on it. I was going to write a column I was at a bar, whatever the arena's called in downtown Cleveland. It used to be Rocket, I don't know what it was. It doesn't matter. But there's like a bar, it's just like this, bar scene out, and everybody's out there and they're waiting on LeBron to the decision, all of that. And I met this young woman, I interviewed her for the column, and I was just struck by this. She was in tears, okay?
Yeah.
And I respectfully, like, hi, introduced myself. Do you mind? I just noticed you. Can I talk to you for a second? She said, sure. And I said, I noticed you're crying. Why? And her answer was amazing to me. She said, I'm from here. And I think she went to Georgetown Law, maybe. And she said, after college, I had offers from everywhere. Yeah, I could move to New York, I could move to DC, I could move to LA. And I came back to Cleveland, my hometown, to work here. And the reason I did that is because of LeBron.
Yeah.
Not because I wanted to be a LeBron fan and see every game.
You wanted to be in the city.
No, it wasn't even
Oh.
that. She said LeBron James staying in Cleveland this whole time, if it's good enough for him and he doesn't need more, then why do I need more? And she's like, I'm reevaluating my whole life now because clearly he needs more than this. And now I'm wondering if I got suckered. It was just interesting that his decision had that kind of impact on those people. So I don't know if that's covered in the book, but that's what it made me think
I
of.
found the conversation about, cities that are deemed like everyone wants to get out of here. We live in one.
Yes.
The conversations that I hear from young people who say, God, I want to get out of Memphis. But then there are people who want to stay, who love this city, who are connected to the city, the role that sports plays within that connectivity. The author of this book eventually had to leave for a period of time. His partner got a job elsewhere, but all he wanted to do was to be back in, he was from Columbus,
Sure.
but he wanted to be back in Ohio
Yeah.
to experience with people who understood what it was like to be a Cavs fan during that time.
Huh.
And yet he was gone. So he'd do the 9-hour drive back home and watch with friends and make excuses. Anyway, it's a really good book.
Like to your point about places people, literally the first question I was asked in my interview with CBS Sports back in 2006, first question was, they said, hey, respectfully, all that stuff, but straight to the point. If you're so talented, why are you still in Memphis? That was the first question I was asked. And I had a good answer for it. But they were like, why are we even talking? If this guy was really what we then why was he still in Memphis, Tennessee? And I didn't take it as an insult, but I think somebody else might have.
Sure. It's connotations.
Yeah.
I've had the same question. And then you're like, because I like it here? And then you go down the
Well,
laundry
man, I
list.
actually had a
Anyway.
story. I was like, I had a job offer 3 years ago for the New York Daily News.
Yeah.
And I turned it down because my wife was pregnant and I didn't want to move her to New York City. So I had a great answer for, I could have been in New York for the past 3 years.
Have you seen the housing prices here?
And that, right?
Have
But
you felt the soul of the city?
so I had an answer for
Have you
it.
had barbecue nachos?
Yeah, but they were struck by that.
Yeah.
Like, why are you still in Memphis? You shouldn't be. And I understood the question, but I didn't love it.
The book is called There's Always This Year by Hanif Abdurraqib.
Okay.
Hanif Abdurraqib. Check it out. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads.
5 stars?
GP, you're on at 10. We'll see you there on Grind City Media. Kelcey Wright Johnson joins us after a quick break. We'll talk to her from Las Vegas Summer League, find out her thoughts on Chris Angel, Mind Freak, along with the Grizzlies when we come back.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Some people are already saying these are sneaker of the year. This is the Nina Chanel Abney 3, her second collab with Jordan.
So the tag has like the regular Air Jordan, and then when you flip it, it's like the Jordan logo that Sherman was talking about.
Oh,
And that's like
okay.
what like her art is like
Yeah,
very like
yeah,
contemporary
yeah.
and like
that's
the
dope.
straight lines and like that's so cool.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Are you caught up on House of the Dragon?
Of course I'm caught up.
I'm not caught up. How are the first 2 episodes?
Really good.
I've turned it on 2 nights in a row.
And I get through it.
I don't even know what happens. I get in bed and then I grab the remote and I turn it on and it's just out.
Yeah, I get that.
What
You gotta watch it sitting up, dude.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
A movie called Crossover. It's a basketball movie, but I think it's the top 3 worst basketball movies I've ever watched in my life.
Anthony Mackie,
Yes.
Wayne Brady.
Yes, and hot sauce. Hot sauce.
Oh my God. Did you ever consider that I'm about to watch a movie where one of the actors is hot sauce and think this is probably not the best idea?
The Chris Vernon Show, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Mike did his favorite black films of all time. Mike, where we at?
If there's one movie I know every single line to, it is Coming to America.
There we go.
It is Coming to America. It can come on any time of any day, and I'm going to stop and watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back. We are now joined by Kelcey Wright Johnson, who is in Las Vegas for Grizzlies Summer League. Will be at tonight's game against the Mavs, was at Friday's game against the Kings, has been in Vegas all weekend long at 7:09 a.m. Vegas time. Thank you.
Bright and early. Hi, guys.
Hi. How's your Vegas weekend?
Well, there's no weekends in Vegas, and I think that's the scary thing, right? The other day, I was like getting ready for whatever we were going to do, and I was like, it's Tuesday today, right? And they're like, it's Friday. Okay, well,
Every day is Friday. I know. It was one of those things where even trying to think about what to do in Vegas where the Grizzlies won't be playing on Friday. And I was talking to somebody and they were like, well, you should go to a pool club. And I was like, but it's Friday. Like, aren't those on weekends? And they're like, it's a Friday. There's one on Tuesday, there's one on Wednesday, there's one on Thursday. And I was like, okay, I get it. I always forget Vegas. What's the best thing that you did this weekend?
Well, Frig, contrary to Gary Parrish's horrible review of it, I thought Chris Angel was a lot of fun.
Please explain the Chris Angel Mind Freak and why you guys all ended up going, because the whole Vernon Show crew was in attendance.
Yeah, Gary, I hope he's watching this in the other room now. It was Chris, Roser, Devin, Kevin O'Connor ended up coming, a couple behind the scenes peeps. It was fun. So Vernon, we had talked about it on the Vernon Show before we left, and I think he didn't think anyone was serious about like wanting to go. And so eventually we got here and he was like, are we doing it? And we were like, yeah, of course we're doing it. Like, we love magic and it's weird and it's a fun thing to do. We didn't have anything to do because they had such a long break in between their games. And so we ended up going, and maybe Gary, I don't know. Chris Angel is very weird. Like, you know how it's not just like, hey, I'm going to like, let me pick a card out of a deck or like, let me pull a rabbit out of a hat. Like, he's very strange. There are some very strange things that happen on stage. But like Jessica, he took a bird at one point and pulled it apart and it was two birds, and then he just like tossed them and they were like flying away. Or he like levitated, Jessica, and he went in this like human-sized hamster wheel and it closed the lid so there's no like wires or anything, and then he levitated and they took like a frame and like went all around the body so there's nothing on top or bottom. I don't know, my mind was freaked.
Chris with 2 S's, Mind Freak. Have you ever seen the movie The Prestige?
I haven't.
It's one of my favorite magic movies, but all of the things, you get the behind the scenes by how things are actually done, and I'm always so curious with...
How does he levitate?
Well, this one is full of... It's too hard to explain. In this. You have to see it. I don't want to spoil The Prestige for you. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But with Chris Angel, you'll never know. Wasn't he the person who made street magic big? Wasn't he the guy who would just like bum rush people on the streets? Like, I'm
You
going
would
to do a
make
magic
people
trick.
on the streets in Vegas levitate, and you're like, how are you doing that?
Well, maybe you can levitate at the Grizzlies game tonight. Did you go to practice yesterday?
I did. I went to
Okay.
practice, and I spoke with Cam Spencer and Zach Edey yesterday. I tried to get some information on Edey, which I know everyone wants to talk about today, and he was very coy. It does sound like he very much wants to play. Like, he's not like they're not just sitting him just to sit him. Like, he's legitimately, like, his ankle is on the mend from that game 1. Sounds like he wants to play. We'll see, hopefully tonight. I think tonight would be a 7-4 guy against a 7-5 guy, so I think that'd be really fun to watch. Cam Spencer, this is Jessica and CJ. It was my first time speaking to him today. I just want to say one thing, and I'll get on it like when the actual broadcast later on if you're downloading the Grind City Media app. But I've talked to the coach, Jason March. I've talked to a couple of the players, including Jake LaRavia, and every single person continues to describe him as a dog. They use the same word. This guy's a dog. Gigi had that clip.
Dog.
Yeah, Gigi had that clip where he's like, he's an effing dog. And I said that to him yesterday, and I was like, why do people keep calling you this? Like, why the same word? Why this? And he was like, oh, I'm just the ultimate competitor, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, but like everyone in the NBA is a competitor. That's why we're here. What makes you different? This guy looked me in the eyes, you guys, and said, the difference is I would sacrifice my life on the court to win a basketball game. I said, oh,
Okay.
I get it. And then he just walked away.
Lay down your life for Summer League Grizz. That's all you can ask for in your second round pick from this year. I mean, it comes out in how he plays. And you hear all these stories from when he was at UConn and people in stores, and there's like little anecdotes. I saw one that started like going viral from middle of last season at UConn where he's just like, give me the ball, B. And it's just a random middle of a game, like early conference play, and he's treating it as if he's in the midst of March Madness. So
He would die out there.
He would die. He would die for the game that he loves. When it comes to Zach Edey, you use the word coy, and I feel like that's a perfect word because within his media availability that we've seen so far, it takes a little bit to get out. Like the stories that we've gotten about Zach Edey have now come from Gigi Jackson for the most part, right? Like the car situation and driving the Kia and going to South Main Sushi. But when it comes to Zach Edey, he's a little more private. Like he even told Drew Hill in his piece for the Daily Memphian that a lot of different players have done things for him to welcome him to Memphis, but he wants to keep that private. He likes to keep his private life out of that. What else have you learned though about Zach Edey in being around this team for the last couple of days?
I think private is a really good word. I also think he's very shy. And I think we've been so spoiled in Memphis having guys like Gigi, having guys like Jaren that are just so outgoing that we're like not used to like a regular person just being shy. So I think we're going to have to deal with that for the next couple of seasons, Jess. But yeah, not a lot. Because he hasn't played, he hasn't really been available to media. So I wish I had more for you, but not a lot.
And we still don't know his status officially for tonight. What's your gut say? Like, we're not holding you to this. Does your gut tell you that he's playing tonight?
My gut is saying that he's playing tonight because he was very sweaty after practice. So like he obviously like
did something. He's
right?
not sitting out of practices, right?
Something to think about. But yeah, I have no idea. PR wouldn't tell me anything. He wouldn't say so.
Okay.
Kelcey, you seen any celebrities? What's celebrity watch look like?
Ooh, good question. Obviously, like basketball wise, there's been like Chris Paul was walking around. JJ Redick was just by himself walking around the other day. If you consider like NBA celebrities,
He is the coach of the Lakers now.
I know. I don't think I've ever seen him like in person because he was way smaller than I imagined. I just have NBA players in my head as like big dudes,
Monsters.
but celebrities. Fat Joe's here.
Okay.
Have I seen
Is
celebrities?
Fat Joe still a celebrity?
I
guess so.
When I was at a Knicks game, they put Fat Joe on the celebrity
he's
row.
a New York like king.
Yes.
One of those types.
So he was still within that category.
They treat
Does he
him
have
like
an
they treat
entourage?
Philly. No way he has an entourage.
Imagine he like runs deep. No, but like it's Fat Joe and Lil Wayne and someone else is like here doing stuff every night.
Okay.
Interesting. Last year we got the moment between Britney Spears and Victor Wembanyama and the security guard incident. So we haven't had
Vegas?
that was in Vegas because she was still doing her residency at that time, I believe.
Yeah,
or
I
she
don't
might have
think
just been there actually.
She might have just
her
been there.
residency
I
was
think-
done.
yeah,
I think she just
she was
happened
just
to be
there.
there. Victor
I don't think I've
Wembanyama.
seen anyone, like,
Oops.
fun.
Okay. Not as many celebs. Do you think the Aces play at home tomorrow? Have you heard a lot of people planning to go to the Aces game?
Yes,
I can
a
imagine.
ton. I think
you gonna
everyone's
go?
really. I leave. I have a
Oh,
panel
right.
tomorrow morning, and then I leave right after. I wish.
Damn. That's too bad. It would be really fun. For the Grizzlies,
Both of us
though.
kind of like skirt in and out.
I
Like
know.
before, and you come in right after.
I tell everyone I land at 10:30, so the Aces game will, alas, be over at that point. Jaren and Zaire were at the game on Friday. Is there an expectation for more Grizzlies vets to be in attendance this week?
Yes. Okay, these are little birdies because I have not seen our guys because I'm not staying in the same hotel as our team. The little birdies have told me some exciting news, I think.
Okay. Are we getting is the exciting news in the room with us? Is it here? Are the birds here?
Okay, so I think Dez is here tonight.
Okay.
No one's told me that Jaw is here, but Jaw's best friends have been like posting from Vegas, so like take from that what you
One
will.
would connect dots, perhaps.
I'm just connecting dots that I see on social.
Yes.
I also
love
think-
connecting social dots. It's my favorite
I also
activity.
think Luke Kennard is here.
Oh.
And I think he might be at the game today. So take from that what you will.
Intriguing. As we maintain on our much aligned Luke Kennard watch with no officially reported news on the Luke Kennard front. That would be interesting. We did see, speaking of like stalking people's socials, his baby was watching Grizzlies Summer League in a Grizzlies either jersey or shirt. So
Connect the dots that you want to connect. I'm not saying anything.
we know nothing. But you will know more things when you are on the Grind City Media pregame show tonight for Grizzlies Mavs. We'll see
I
you
won't know.
on. You might not, but you'll try.
I'll do my best.
Do you have the fit planned for tonight?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what you come up with.
It's
Go back
so
to
hot
bed.
here. It's
I know.
So, no, I'm up now.
You're up.
It's you wanna see. It's so. I know you guys are playing the music, so you're ready to go, and you're just gonna see like me. But
Oh,
it's
it's
so
okay.
hot.
Do you have a sphere view?
No, I have the worst view of all time.
The worst. I mean, it looks beautiful.
No, I see
is a
like
desert.
construction and parking lots.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's all right.
And
Enjoy.
I know you're trying to get rid of me.
Oh
I'm
no, we're
sick.
not. Well, we would keep you as long as you want. Well,
And
to a
got
degree.
here, and she said we only have one room available that is non-smoking, and it's on the top floor. But do you guys know about the elevators here? It takes me
Yes.
25 minutes and 600 stops to get downstairs now.
I know. So you're on the top floor.
Yeah, looking at a parking lot.
I'll take the parking lot over a smoking room. So
Fair enough.
Kelcey,
Fair enough.
we've been trying to let you go now, so really shouldn't ask you one more question. But one more question for you: who are you going to play with in dynasty mode in college football?
Alabama, Roll Tide.
There we go. Hot damn, starting off in the front.
It's so
All right.
boring.
Did you see all of the Alabama college news? All the football news? They got the #1 recruiting class. Your boy's doing a hell of a job recruiting so far.
He's not my boy anymore. He left. He left with the Pac-12. Poof. Bye.
He's my boy.
He's now Kelcey's.
Well, Kelcey, your boy, he's out here. hitting that
Congratulations
recruiting
on the
trail
number
hard,
one
baby.
recruiting class. I look forward to seeing your team. Look forward to seeing you later as well.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for
Thank you
getting
having-
up. You're the best.
Thank you, Kelcey.
Bye. That was Kelcey Wright Johnson. Make sure to follow her on all the socials to stay up to date with the happenings in Vegas for the Grizzlies' second Vegas Summer League game tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. She mentioned if Zach Edey were to play that we could get a 7-5 versus 7-4 matchup. That is because the Mavs have a 7-5 center named Jamarian Sharp, who was the tallest player in college basketball 2021 onward. He is on the Wikipedia list of tallest people in the United States of America, and he is taller than anyone else in the league, I think, at this point.
Being a giant amongst giants is insane.
Must be nice. I am a shrimp amongst shrimps, but I'm not even sure. I'm mid. but I'm not mid. I'm small for a girl.
You're small for a guy also, Jessica.
Yeah, I know, but my point was like there are girls who are in the 4 foot range. I had multiple classmates growing up who were like in the 4 to 5 range. I'm just 5'2", you know? So it's short, but I don't feel like I can claim shrimp among shrimp status is what I'm like. I'm not a crustacean. I'm like
a crab.
Like a little fish. A crab.
Yeah, you can be a crab.
Crabby.
You're not a lobster. Those things get pretty large.
A lobster?
Yeah, you can be a crab. You can be a hermit crab.
Bring on the lobsters.
Horseshoe crab isn't a crab, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
Maybe I could be a mussel.
Ooh, is that a crustacean?
I think so.
Okay, you're a mussel.
Or a sea urchin.
You're definitely an urchin. Sure, why not?
All right, we're taking a break, right?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes,
We'll take a break.
All the music is playing.
We will come back. We will select our college football 25 teams the moment you all, aka CJ and I, have been waiting for. CJ's will be at random. I will pick amongst my hats of what team I plan to play with. For CFB 25, we will wrap things up on this Monday edition of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt after a quick break.
Some people are already saying these are sneaker of the year. This is the Nina Chanel Abney 3, her second collab with Jordan.
So the tag has like the regular Air Jordan, and then when you flip it, it's like the Jordan logo that Sherman was talking about.
Oh,
and that's like
okay.
what like her art is like very like contemporary and like
that's
the
dope.
straight lines and like that's so cool.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's #1.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt, live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You have proven everybody wrong every single time, every step of the way. Does it get frustrating that people are still skeptical that you can do this?
I kind of expect it now. I think I would be uncomfortable if people weren't doubting me all the time. It's just kind of been part of it, been part of my life. In college, I couldn't tell you why people keep doing it, but they keep doing it, and it keeps working out for me.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Justin Timberlake. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance, to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Welcome back. It is a very important day, one of the most important days in American history. CFB 25 release day. CJ, did you start? No, you bought a physical copy, like me.
Yeah.
I am anxiously awaiting the delivery of my physical copy.
Might get here Friday, might be Sunday. I don't know.
I go out of town, so it doesn't really matter. But I am a little jealous of the people who posted the beginnings of their downloads yesterday. Other Jacob told us for those people, they can start playing at 3 p.m. Central Time today, I believe, is the time that you can finally embark on your EA Sports college football journey for the first time in 11 years. It's been forever, but it has finally arrived, and we need to select our teams. So we've both decided to go about this in different ways. It is selection day, a very important day here on the show. CJ is going to go the random route. I am not leaving my destiny in the hands of some ducks. So I already have made my pick in my mind, but I'll tell you when I put on the hat. But CJ, what are your options to begin? Who made your final whatever number of teams?
What a question to ask. Jacob, can you throw up the Ducks? Because I don't remember. I sent my man like 10.
Oh, my God.
So we've got, yes, it's a hell of a race right here. We've got the Troy defensive coordinator position, Northern Illinois defensive coordinator position, UMass. Who's DSU? San Diego State defensive coordinator. Who? Oregon State defensive coordinator, Toledo defensive coordinator, New Mexico State head coach. We've got Navy, Army offensive coordinators, and then we got some more. It's a bleep show. And we keep an eye on the truck duck. Let's make sure nobody's up top in the towers, baby. What if the truck duck wins?
Stop.
That would be so good. So here's the deal. If I win with Army and Navy, I'm going to run the triple option the entire time I play in that dynasty. Here comes the truck duck. Toledo! 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 Woo! Let's
Holy
go.
Toledo.
Let's go. Your hometown.
That is place of my birth.
Let's go.
Thanks for repping.
Fighting Rockets. Let's get it.
We love it here.
Who are they?
The Rockets.
Are they the Rockets?
Yeah.
Good guess. Let's go.
They're the, hold on, specifically they are the,
I'm assuming
yeah,
I got,
just the Rockets.
I'm
Rocky the Rocket.
I'm assuming I got big time rivalries with Miami of Ohio. I'm assuming I got big time rivalries with Ohio.
Just Ohio.
Let's go.
Period.
Mac, we coming through.
Maction.
Lock it down on defense. You ain't never seen a defense.
Central Michigan.
Play a little, I think I'm gonna go 3-3-5 with them, get a bunch of secondary players on the field.
All right.
Start blitzing from various safety spots because I got 3 of them on the field. So start blitzing. Oh, y'all aren't ready for this.
What are your thoughts on Bowling Green?
I hate them now.
Yeah, sure do.
I hate them. They're in the conference. Are they in my division? They can't be in my division. Bowling Green, get ready. Come beat the hell out of you also. Wait, Bowling Green is in Ohio, not Kentucky.
They don't do divisions anymore, I don't think.
Oh.
I think everyone's gone divisionless.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Akron.
Akron.
Kent State.
Wait.
Never forget.
I wonder if I get trophies. I think I'm playing for like some trophies in some of these games. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Better whatever the hell. Jacob, if you have, you probably don't. I don't want to ask you to do more than what I needed to, Jacob. But if you have the rankings of these teams, shout it out to me. Toledo, defensive coordinator. We coming, baby.
All right. I just want to thank everybody who got me to this place. It's been a journey. Obviously, I love college football with all my heart. I love college football 25 with all my heart. I've got some USC ties, Hawaii, New Mexico State. The Pac-12 turns into the Pac-2, representing Washington State and Oregon State, both finalists for me. Memphis, University of Puget Sound on nobody's roster of teams, but I had to do it for my Gramps. The Sun Belt, the good old days of the Western Athletic Conference. Yale, who rejected me twice, but I'm still thinking I could come and be their offensive coordinator, even though the Ivy League is not represented in this great game.
Are you only offensive coordinator?
I am an offensive coordinator.
Okay.
I want everyone to know I love points. I love scoring. It makes my world go round.
This is why we work.
Exactly.
Because you love
We could make a
offense,
team.
And I love the
Love defense.
I love the D.
I
Big
am
into
a
D.
disciple of two things: Pac-12 After Dark and the great June Jones. And I would like to bring the run and shoot back to all its glory at the University of Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Timmy Chang, let's do this together. We're gonna bring it back to Colt Brennan. We're going to bring it back to Devon Bess. We're going to bring it back to Samson Satterley. We've got the offensive line there. We've got the run and gun offense. We've got the quarterback in place, the receivers. It is going to be the most fun offense in college football. And why not? Our run out song is going to be Iz's version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. You think it's not scary? That song makes me cry immediately. You'll cry too when we come for you. And we'll schedule all the West Coast teams. And I'm going to stay at the University of Hawaii forever because it is the ultimate glamour city. Palm trees for days, the sounds of the crashing ocean. Why would anyone not want to go to the University of Hawaii? I don't know. Their stadium situation, we'll work on it. It's a generic.
What conference?
It's a generic. Out West.
Okay, what conference are you moving to?
Oh, we're back to the WAC, baby. We are back to the glory days. We will be scheduling Fresno State, Boise State, Nevada, San Jose State, New Mexico State, Idaho. Even though they're not in the game, we're going to take a trip to the Kibbie Dome someday. This is a long-term project where we bring the WAC back to the glory days that it deserves.
Your plan, which is a great plan, I support you 1,000%, is to play with Hawaii.
Yes.
And then rebuild a conference that is already gone.
Yes.
Even with the one member that was there that's gone now.
Correct.
All right. Let's go Hawaii.
It's the conference of my childhood. They were my family. And it's like a child of divorce.
Is it?
You just want to bring the family back together,
okay.
You know? And the 2007, 2008 WAC is that family. The rest of them, Rice, I don't need you. Tulsa, I don't need you. I want that core. The core that warms my cold little heart.
So where are those schools going to go? You're just coming
I don't know,
in
they're not my
college
problem.
football. Wow. No love for Rice and Tulsa.
No, I don't want a big conference. Let's go back to manageable conferences. Doesn't need to be a CVS receipt. I like this hat though. Look at this cool.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
nice.
I know.
That is nice. So you're not taking any other. Would you leave Hawaii and come back, right? Let's say because you're offensive coordinator.
I'm a coach. I have to say I'm there forever.
But we're talking behind closed doors. We're talking amongst family.
Oh.
It's us in the show. The people who watch the show in the chat and who listen to it are our family.
Well,
would
in
you
that
would you be
case-
willing to leave Hawaii to get a head coaching job and then boom bounce back?
You know, there's only one.
Gus Malzahn style.
No, there's only one head coaching job that I'll be playing for because after I rebuild the WAC, I will then be taking my talents to the ghost yard of the Pac-12, and I'll be going to USC because it's, that flight from LAX to Honolulu. It's one of the more convenient in the United States of America. Then I'll end up at USC, bring them back, bring the Pac-12 back together, and then my sunset tour, I'm going to pull a Pat Sajak, and after I retire, I'm just going to move to Hawaii, and I'm going to be an assistant, an analyst.
Oh.
I'm going to be like, what's my man who just went to Vanderbilt from New Mexico State? Jerry Kill. I'm going to be the Jerry Kill of Hawaii.
All right.
How's that for a long-term plan?
That's big goals. You got big shoes.
Where do you
want
to go next?
The end goal is to be at Michigan.
Okay.
That's the end goal. Now, how soon I get there is completely up to me and up to their coaching situation. But just know, if you hire me, I'm assuming I'll do some pretty impressive things defensively. I think there might be a couple of openings at some point at schools like potentially maybe Mississippi State, Arkansas State, not Arkansas State, okay. Arkansas, excuse me. So yeah, I'll take some of those type jobs. And then when Michigan calls, just know I'm leaving for the Big Blue, baby. That's where I'm going. I'm assuming that Oregon State might come a calling once they see what this D can do. You know what I'm saying? Because the D is going to shut it down.
I'm all about the O. Big O, baby.
Big
all right, that'll do it.
RV
I'm so glad that we got our R.I.P. Dr. Ruth. It was a rough celebrity death weekend. Dr. Ruth, Richard Simmons, Shannon Doherty of 90210 was born in Memphis. I didn't know that. I learned that this weekend.
Jacoby Jones.
Lane
legend, Super Bowl legend, Baltimore Ravens legend. Yeah, it was tough.
The Dr. Ruth one hit me.
Oh, immediately.
I also did think she was already dead, but...
No, we had talked about it.
I know.
Oh, before we go,
I still
since she's gone, share your Dr. Ruth story so we can clip this and put it on social, please.
Okay, let me take off my Hawaii hat.
Okay.
When I was a kid, my mom would take me to this speaker series. It was called Unique Lives and Experiences, and it came through Denver every year, and it was almost exclusively women sharing their stories, and famous women who had, broken barriers in a variety of fields. I got to hear Maya Angelou, I got to hear Jane Fonda, I got to hear Coretta Scott King, Diane Keaton, Lily Tomlin, Cheetah Rivera, like just Erin Brockovich. So just women from all over the place. And I would always be like, I don't want to go. And now looking back on it, it's one of the coolest things my mom did for me growing up was make me go to that speaker series to listen to these women. One year, Dr. Ruth was one of the speakers for this series. And my mom did not think twice about taking me at the age of 13 to Dr. Ruth down at the Buell Theater in Denver, Colorado. And like I was 13. And so I was too cool for everything. And my mom wanted to get an autograph from Dr. Ruth because sometimes the speakers would do book signings and Dr. Ruth was set up in the lobby before the show. And I just wanted to go to the seats because I didn't want to be seen at a Dr. Ruth show with my mom. And it ended up being a good thing that we waited in line for the book signing because we get to the front of the line and Dr. Ruth just looks at me and she goes, "Little girl, may I ask how old you are?" And I was like, "I'm 13. She was like, "I think you're too young for tonight's show." And in typical Dr. Ruth fashion, like she immediately didn't want me to be embarrassed. And she didn't want my mom to be embarrassed either. And she was like, "I make content for people your age. This isn't about you not learning about sex. Like this is strictly a matter of, I don't think you're going to understand some of the things that we talk about tonight. Frankly, I think you'll be bored." She kept it very scientific. "I make programming for you. Here's a book." And she signed the book and gave me her book for teens at the time. And then she told my mom, she said, "Maybe you can just leave her in the car while you attend the show." And my mom was just like, "Yeah, okay, sure." We leave. My mom's humiliated. My mom had a handful of times in life because she never shied away from like taking me to art that might have been a little advanced for my age. I remember we saw a musical called Contact once and there were other adults shooting daggers at my parents for having me at that. So the Dr. Ruth thing, par for the course, but my mom just wanted to get out of there. And of course my mom did not leave me in the car to go to the Dr. Ruth show. So we got Dairy Queen on the way home and it was wonderful. But we always talk about the time that I wasn't allowed into a Dr. Ruth show when I was 13 years old, but Dr. Ruth was awesome. And like we talk about it on this show all the time, how like prude and honestly like Puritan we are as a society. We're afraid to even say the word sex sometimes. Like it feels, I'm like, oh God, am I gonna get in trouble for this? Dr. Ruth worked so tirelessly to make that not a thing. And I'm grateful for experiences like that where from the get-go, like I wasn't embarrassed. There wasn't a taboo around this. It was like ask questions where you can so you can learn and make safe decisions and, you know, have a healthier relationship with it going forward. So I met Dr. Ruth once. My mom's gonna hate that I shared the story on the show.
She's gonna hate it when
She's
we flip it also.
Hate that I shared the story.
In my experience, nobody with more good knowledge has made bad decisions because of a lack of knowledge.
Mhm.
Right? And so I thank Dr. Ruth for getting that knowledge out there. And I feel like I have a healthy-ish relationship with sex in large part because I came into it with a knowledge about what does happen, what doesn't happen, what is a big deal, what isn't a big deal, what you should be ashamed of, which is pretty much nothing.
Mhm.
And I got that knowledge some of that knowledge from her, some from my parents, but a lot of it came from this strange woman who would come on the Oxygen channel.
If this
late at
cute
night.
little grandma can talk about sex, why can't you? You know? The Oxygen channel. Does Oxygen still exist?
Wait, was that Sue or Ruth that came on?
Sue was on the
Sue was on Oxygen.
I don't know. Sue.
Ruth had the radio show and
Yeah.
a couple other TV
And
things.
books.
And
She wrote a lot of books. Nothing like getting a book to be like, here, go learn about
still
this
have
stuff.
it?
Yes, and I was so mad. I thought I took a picture of it when I was home this past Christmas and we were going through a bunch of old storage stuff trying to sell my great Beanie Baby collection. And we found the book. And so it says like to Jessica from Dr. Ruth. And I didn't take a picture of it and I'm so mad. So now I have no idea. It's in one of those bins that I'll find 20 years from now. Maybe I can sell it. Just kidding, Dr. Ruth. I would never use you for gain. Maybe I would. Yeah, Lee Evans in the chat pointed out too. She survived the Holocaust. She was a Holocaust survivor. She came over from Germany. Anyway, remarkable woman. Sad. I loved Richard Simmons too. It's just one of those light of a personalities.
Sex positivity, body positivity.
Yeah.
That's what those
They go
two
together.
were. And there are clips going around for those two sitting down together and doing an interview that is pretty good to sit down and watch. And listen, man, we exist in a world where everybody's not as confident about certain things. And for Richard Simmons and Dr. Ruth to both exist at once and try and push this positivity forward. I'm a big fan of people being positive. I'm not positive, but I enjoy it when people get positive. So RIP to both of those two icons.
All right, well, that'll do it for today's edition of the show. CJ will be on the road tomorrow. Bennett Doyle will be in here. I know Bennett and I both saw Long Legs over the weekend, so maybe we'll do a little TV Tuesday, Theater Thursday hybrid, since we will return to our summer movie series on Thursday. We are watching Shrek. Shrek won by a landslide in our DreamWorks voting, so if you want to rewatch Shrek so it's fresh in your mind, we'll be doing that on Thursday. I believe Mike Wallace might join us, but we'll have a Grizzlies Summer League game tomorrow to get through as the Grizzlies and the Mavs play tonight. If you haven't downloaded the Grind City Media app, what are you doing? You can watch the pregame festivities. We'll be back to talk about it tomorrow. Have a great Monday, everyone. Bye.
What was the quote? We just done with the quotes, right? The song quotes?
Where them girls at? Where them girls at? Where them girls at?
Mike is at 8:20 tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Thanks.